So hey guys, this is Sapper and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can make this swirly text animation in Blender. So let's begin. Okay, so we are in the default scene which I'm going to delete by pressing X. Then I'm gonna add a text object by pressing Shift A and adding a text. Alright, let's edit this text by going in the edit mode and type in the text that you want. I'm going with great. Looks great feel. Alright, also I don't like the font, so I'm gonna change it by going into the text properties here and changing the font to something that I like, and like this. Alright, also I'm gonna add a bit of thickness to it by going into the geometry options and extruding it by 0.1 meters. That looks fine. Alright, now let's add a bevel. Okay, that's way too much. I'm gonna keep it subtle. Okay, that looks fine. Now let's go back to the object mode and see what the geometry looks like by holding Z and going into the wireframe mode. So as you can see, we have a lot of triangles here which are going to create problems in the next step, because we are going to bend the text around a helix, and that's going to create artifacts. So to fix that, we can add a modifier onto our text, and it's called the remesh modifier. So the text is looking weird right now, and that's because the voxel size is way too much, and we can fix that by decreasing the voxel size to 0.12, and the text is fine again. Alright, also I'm gonna turn on smooth shading and converting this text into a mesh, and let's go back to wireframe mode again to see what the geometry looks like now. Great, it's nice and even. Alright, we can move to the next step now. Also let's shade the text smooth, and also I'm gonna turn on auto smoothing as well. Alright, then I'm gonna create a helix by pressing Shift A again, then going into the curve profiles and adding a helix. Then I'm gonna go into the curve profiles and change the resolution to 50, because we don't need that many segments onto a helix. Enter, and then also you can change the height and width if you want, but I'm just gonna go with the default values here. Cool. So press tab to go into the object mode, and now we have to wrap this text around this helix. So we can use another modifier for that, and that is the curve modifier. So let's put this onto our text object, and here you will find a curve object which is going to be our helix, because we want to wrap the text around this helix. So let's drag this here, and our text is now wrapped, but it's looking weird, and that's because the scale is way too much. Let's decrease it like this, and right now the text is flipped, and we can fix that by changing the deform axis from positive X to negative X, and it's gonna offset the text a little bit. So let's bring it in center like this, and rotating it on the x-axis will fix it. So press R and then X to rotate it on the x-axis only. Alright, like that. Cool. So let's move to the next step, and the origin is shifted, so we need to bring that in center. So right click onto our text object and set the origin to 3D cursor. Since the 3D cursor was already in the center, we just snapped our origin to it. Alright, so now we need to make another text layer that is going to be behind this one. So let's just select the helix and text, press Shift D to duplicate it, and then I'm gonna rotate it on the Z axis. So press R, Z, 180. Alright, now we can animate it. So press the text one, and I want it to appear from the bottom, so I'm gonna set the first keyframe here, then move 120 frames forward and add another keyframe here. Alright, not here. Alright, let's do the same for the next one. So I want it to appear from the top. So let's add a keyframe there. Let's move it to the first keyframe and then drag this down. Like this. Cool. Now we can tweak the animation as per our liking. So I'm gonna select both the layers, then go into the graph editor by clicking here. Then select both the graphs and then I want the animation to be fast in the beginning and on the end. So I'm gonna make the graph steeper on the ends like this. So the animation will be faster on the ends and slower in the middle. Like this. Alright. Cool, so let's see how the animation looks now. Okay, so the viewport performance has decreased a lot, and that's because we have a lot of geometry going on here. Okay, so we are done with the animation. I'm gonna set up my scene real quick by adding a camera, texturing and lighting, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've set up my scene now. So I've added an HDRI environment with some lights in the back for as the rim lights, and one in the front for the main light. And then I've added the camera with a focal length of 150 mm, and I'm using this empty object as a focus point, and it's right on the text. So as you can see, the camera will focus on the empty object, and if we turn on the depth of field and change the f-stop, the lower the f-stop, the more blurry it will be. So I'm just gonna keep it like that. Alright, now you can just render it out using EV or cycles, what you want. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and learned something from it, and I'll be posting more such videos soon, so make sure you subscribe the channel and follow me on Instagram.